fun idea to mess with some drum stuff on the Roland MC-101. It has some really neat features, like you have these 4 tracks that all can have a different step length. So one could be playing, can start over after 3 steps, the other one after 5 steps, the other one after 8 steps, or whatever. So there's a lot of cool things you can do. So let us see. I actually already made a project here. Load project. Polyrhythm. Poly is not. That's fine. Just load the thing. Oh, by the way, feel free to let me know if the audio levels aren't all that great. I think it's the same as last time. I think it should be good, but you never know. So let's see. Here you have, if you press Shift and one of the measure keys, you can set step length for each track. And currently they're all set to 16, but you can also press like Shift sequencer for first step and last step. Let's see. So let's all set these to 16. No, gotta press this. So I think yeah, on track 1 I have this drum sound. It's from a really cool sample pack with all sorts of ethnic drums. So I think it's all from African drum instruments. So in channel 1 we have this. Let's turn off the delay, because polyrhythms can get weird enough as they are. On track 2, ooh, that sounds nice. Yeah, on track 2 we have this. On track 3 we have another sound. And on track 4 we have this one. So if we now press play, we just have all of them. We have that one sample on step 1 of the entire bar. So it should just, yeah, trigger them all at the same time. But I'm actually gonna, I have a bit of a cheat sheet. I already made some polyrhythm stuff in a piece of software. I'm gonna see if I can find some nice rhythms that I like. Oh wait, I can see. I may have also put something on my SoundCloud. So yeah, let's just start with these 2 sounds. So I'm gonna set the first one to, let's see. This should now repeat every 4/16 notes. By the way, you can also make these like 8th notes or something else, or I don't know, what can you do? You have step length and you have a scale. Yeah, so we have 8th notes, 16, 32nd, 3, or whatever. You got triplet stuff. So you can get really weird with this if you combine different lengths and different resolutions, I guess you could say, different scales in this menu. So yeah, you can get pretty weird. That's already pretty nice. So now it's out of sync. Let's restart it again, and let's go to the 2nd channel, and let's make this 3. So now it's a 4/3 polyrhythm. This is always a good one, 4/3. Really nice. Or one of my favorites, 5/4, or I guess it's 4/5, but it doesn't matter. And then we can do a shift and shift exit, I think, is the tap tempo. That's a bit much. You get these real nice, what you call these, they combine into really nice rhythms. But let's add a third one. Currently the third is still set to 16 steps, I mean. So let's see, what can we do? If we take the third and we make that length 7, so now it's 4 against 5 against 7. Ooh, that's kind of nice. So now we'll go to the tempo thing, and we're just gonna manually do the BPM. Nice. Let's actually also add the fourth, and so we have 4, 5, 7, maybe 9. It's probably a bit high. It just randomly throws one in there. Maybe 4, 5, 7, 3. Let's restart that so it's all in sync again. Not that it matters, because it's gonna be out of sync most of the time. Hope you can't hear that, I'm just stirring my coffee quickly. So now what we can do, well, we can do a whole lot of things. We can add some randomization, but I think let's save that until later. Actually, let's do that, that could be fun. So we're gonna go to bar, track 1, sample 1, go to sequence. Here we have this one hit, and we can press shift 1, and now we can do, I hope you can see it on screen, I think it's okay. You have these 4 parameters. You can set the velocity, which can be really nice to, sometimes you want to mute one a bit. You can change the start time, or you can set a mute percentage. So now there's a chance of 24%. I'm gonna make the rest a bit softer. So now there should be a chance of 24% that it gets skipped. So that's pretty cool, that gives a bit of randomization. Now of course you can set as high as you want. Here it always skips. Here it never skips. Oh, I nudged the start time. We don't want to mess with the timing. Polyrhythms are weird enough as they are. Oh yeah, we can also add a sub, what you call these? Sub, well, you can make them like go double time, and you can make flams, and you could do, make it, well, you can hear what it's doing. So, how about if we mute it, give it about 50%, and we're gonna go to track 2. And set this a little bit higher. I don't know. I have no idea if it's. I'm just trying some stuff. Set this one also 15 to 20 range, and go to 4, and also set it somewhere in that area. Of course, I gotta bring those in again. That's pretty interesting. And now what we can do is we can take the first one that does just the basic, that kind of grounds the rhythm. It's kind of repetitive and predictable. So let's take that one, and let's just go to note. I don't know if I have to, and then I'm gonna tweak these knobs, and here you can see delay send. My finger isn't on the way. So now we can give this a bit of an echo, a bit of a delay. I believe typically I just have it all set to it's usually synced to the BPM, and yeah, it's almost always a $1/8. I think that also works pretty cool, pretty interestingly with these these polyrhythms. And now of course we can go to exit. No, now we can go to the second one. And also give this one some delay, and the third and the fourth, and I'm gonna bring them all back. And now we just hope it's not complete chaos. Maybe it's a bit much. Let's set it to about 30. Now I'm gonna take this sound, the second one, and I'm just gonna try some stuff. So currently it's a 5-step pattern that's looping. I'm just gonna go to notes, gonna go to sequence, and I'm gonna set it also on the 3rd step. But I'm also gonna give this a mute percentage that is quite a bit higher, because I'm gonna add some more steps to every sequence. I mean, more steps to every track, I guess. Every track has its own sequence and they're all gonna get more steps. And I'm gonna give those a pretty high mute percentage, around 50-50. So track 1, actually I don't think I will add one to track 1, because it's such it kind of drives the whole thing. If I add more, well, screw it, let's just try one. Let's put one on the 4. So I get a boom, boom, boom. Yeah, that's a bit much. I really want to give that a really high mute percentage. Now, let's see. The 3rd track, we have it set to a length of 7. I'm gonna go to sequence and I'm gonna set that's probably way much. So I'm also gonna give this a really high mute percentage, like near the 90. It's getting a little hectic already. Yeah, it was a cool experiment, but it might be a bit much. Now it's just drum sounds everywhere. You know what? I'm gonna just reload the thing. No, you know what? I'm gonna go to track 1. I'm gonna reset it all. Let's see. Yeah. I'm gonna remove all the steps and just place the 1st step back on each one. So now, yeah, now it's just reset and now it's normal, and I'm gonna set the delay everywhere to like 15, 16, I don't know, 15 to 20. So it just adds a little bit of echo in the background, more like people are drumming in a tunnel or something maybe. And just quickly check OBS if my levels are okay. Yeah, I think so. Let me also check the chat. Awesome. So let's try a different rhythm. I'm gonna leave the first one at 4 because I like how it kind of drives and adds a bit of momentum. So it's 4, 5, 4, 5, 7, 3. Let's try 4, 5, 6. Well, another 5 doesn't make sense. 4, 5, 6, 2. I guess the 2 is really short and kind of matches up with the first one at some point. You know what? Let's try some higher values. I'm actually also going to change the first one. Make it a bit more interesting. Because that kind of gave it a 4/4 feeling, that made it maybe a bit traditional sounding. And let's see, since we have such a long one on the second one, we could add some more steps. It's a bit much. So now we have 4, 11. Let's set another slightly longer one. And on 4 we're gonna set 3. So let's reset it, see how that sounds. Actually, let's turn off the delay all the way. It's kind of interesting. Let's take the second one, that is such a long one. And let's give it a bunch of delay. That actually kind of matches up. The fourth delay would almost matches up with the one hit again. Quite a bit of noise in this sample, in the fourth one especially. Sadly, the sample back isn't super amazing at the high quality, but it's perfectly fine for some experiments like this. And you can always EQ some stuff out, I guess. I didn't put it in the description. I was gonna put the sample pack link in the description. You can find it on reverb.com, but I will put it in the comments or something afterwards. It's also in the description of another video I made, but I'm not quite sure what's it called. So let's see. This fourth one is pretty short. Second one is really long. Maybe this third one can also have a bit of delay. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I like that. I think it would be a good idea. Let's make a new project and now let's try some more randomization stuff. I think if we add a whole lot of randomization in here, it's going to be very messy. But I think it would be fun to start a new pattern, get a nice drum kit in there, and add a bunch of randomization in a more traditional sounding drum pattern, and then maybe we can add some polyrhythmic elements to that one. I think it's better than the other way around. I kind of wanted to, I've messed with a bit of randomization and a bit of polyrhythms. I wanted to combine it as we just did, and yeah, I guess I should have expected it. It's a little hectic, it's a little messy. So let's take a drum kit. I should really load some more drum kits because I don't love all the drum kits on here. I think there's actually, let's go by alphabet. I think there's a couple pretty good 808 909 kits, but I don't love the 808 and 909 sound. I think this bass is a bit. Actually, I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna take the drum kit from a project. You can do that, right? Yeah, from project. Yeah, I think it's a 909 kit, but maybe I made some adjustments to like the decay and some other stuff. I don't know. Sounds pretty 909. Oh well, that's fine. So yeah, let's just what are we gonna do? Let's just start with snares, set those on the 5 and 13, that's the 2 and the 4. Let's go to the kick and let's put it in a bunch of random places. So yeah, this is really busy, but that's intentional because the more notes we have that we might not always want, the more we can remove. So here we have the so yeah, we got a basic rhythm going. Let's do shift 15, add a whole lot of mute on that last one. I think it's good to find, you always have to find a bit of a balance between randomization and yeah, something that you can rely on, something that's predictable. And I think it's probably a good idea to keep the snare on the 2 and the 4, just because, well, it makes it easier for your brain to process what's going on. But these kicks and these hi-hats we can change a whole lot about. I think I want to keep the drum on a 1 in most cases too. So I'm gonna set that mute level, the mute amount, the mute odds, the whatever you want to call it, really low. And I'm just gonna add some random values. I don't have a whole lot of. That's kind of cool. Just take a sip. Don't want to let that coffee get cold. And let's also add a whole lot of randomization in here. Well, not all that much. Actually, what I'm gonna do, I might put this hi-hats on the second channel. I think 1 is fine for drum and kicks, because what you can do, you can give it the mute odds, the chance that it mutes a step, but you can also set how it goes through a pattern. Let me just demonstrate. So I'm gonna set the 2. I'm gonna go to track 2, and I'm gonna, what's the race again? Yeah, shift clear 2. I'm gonna delete track 2, okay? Because it's by default, it's a note track, but we want a drum track. And I think we just want, hold up. Stop playing. Sound, shift sound? No, I want, oh, let's go to note, then to sound, then I can choose a kit. I think, all alphabet. Yeah, I think it was just TR909 that we have on track 1. Yeah. Alrighty. Yeah, sounds enough. Sounds close enough. So now we have this one selected. We're gonna go to sequencer, and we're gonna set it on the first 4 steps. And I'm actually gonna make this only 8 notes, 8 steps long. And now I'm gonna press. How does that work? Ooh. No. Oh yeah. If I press 2, current track, plus a pad, then it gets a little bit less, and you can see velocity is now 80, and here it's 100. So I'm gonna set 2 of them to velocity 80, 2 are velocity 100. I guess you can also do sequence, and this gets one of those sub-steps. I think they call it sub-steps. Now this is a pretty boring pattern, of course, but what we can do is go to mode, forward, reverse, forward and reverse, inverse, which is pretty interesting pattern. Not exactly sure what it's doing there, but you can see it by the lights if the frame rate on my camera here is good enough. Or you can have it random. What we can also do is, now we can go to the open hat and place that on step 6, and now that's also an option. And you can hear sometimes it's followed by an empty step, and then it can kind of ring out, but sometimes it's followed by a closed hi-hat, and then it gets cut off because it's in the same mute group. That's a pretty common thing the drum machines do. So let's see how this sounds, both tracks combined. Now we should probably go to track 1 and mute the heads there. Only this one is in use. I just don't like the kick pattern though. It's fine. I don't love it. So screw it, throw it away. That's not great either. Let's just probably just too much. That's a bit static sounding. Add a whole bunch of mute to that one, a little bit to that one. That one's pretty close to 0, and a bit to that one. I don't know if the whole hi-hat thing added a bunch. Maybe we can vary a bit. Maybe we could just add some more percussion sounds from this range. I always like this sound. I'm not sure what you call it. Maybe it's like a conga-like thing, but it's cool. Press shift a pad. Maybe we should add a bit more so we have something to mute. I kind of want to keep this. I don't want to add a whole bunch of mute to this. So exit, go back to normal step thing. Yeah. That's kind of cool. I'm actually just gonna load up. I did already mess with this a bit, and I feel like I got better results last time. So I'm just gonna load up the project I used last time. I think it was random. Oh, there it is, random project. I had a couple cool things come out by chance, and I was like, I'll just do it again live, and I'm like, nah, I think I like that more, the first pattern. So I got 3 patterns on 1, 3 patterns on 2. I think I also tried something by adding a bass line on track 3 and 4, and it sounded like shit, so let's just go 1 and 1 on both. Yeah, I thought this one was pretty interesting. I'm not sure why this one's better. Here we have, oh, hold up, this is pattern 2. Let's go to track 1, I mean, because again I have the heads on the second pattern, at least some of them. So track 1, and here we can see what's getting triggered. Let's have a look at this kick pattern. That coffee sound. Yeah. Could you hear me drinking? Let's take another sip. love me a good cup of coffee. And welcome to the stream, by the way. And let's see, what did I do with the second pattern here? That's awfully, of course, that's awfully quiet if I put the slider down. So on the closed hi-hat, we have this pattern. Yeah, I have 2 normal hits. I have 2 hits with like substeps. I have some softer hits. That's pretty much it. And then I have 8 empty steps. And I guess I don't have any open hats. No. So this is just a whole bunch of random open hat hits. Oh, no, closed hat hits. Oh shit. Why does everything sound reversed suddenly? That's funky. What did I do? What? I am hella confused right now. That sounds cool though. Ooh, I do love. I have no idea how I did that. I know there is some reverse settings you could do. I know you can go to the pad settings and then you can go to pad edit and you can send it to certain effects and you could change a whole load of things. But now I just want to figure out how I did that because I might want to use this more often. Did I? No, it's really in those samples. I also have some effects in the multi-effects section, but that's off. And it's just set to a filter. What? What the hell is going on here? It's kind of interesting, but I would like some control over what's going on, please. I could just reload the thing. I could just I can get this back, no problem. But let's go to the multi-effects section. We got a delay, of course. We got a compressor, EQ, and the multi-effects. There's this just a multi-mode filter, so you can cut off the highs or the lows depending on. Yeah, basically you got the low pass filter going into a high pass filter. That's the effect I have here. And here you can change how the filter behaves. Let's see, does the second... Yeah, this still sounds good. I am so confused. Sounds pretty badass and gritty though. I'm actually gonna save it as it is. I'm just gonna save it to a new... project. Saving and loading, thanks to a firmware update, has become a bit slower. Oof. Please write the thing. There we go. It's not too bad, but for live use this could be an issue. Luckily, yeah, I don't plan on using it live. There's not a whole lot of live music going on anyways right now, but and they'll probably fix it. But okay, let's go back to track 1 again. Just go. Ooh, that's cool. Why is it so gritty and so lo-fi? And let's crank my volume up a bit. I really like that one. What the hell is going on? Bad edits. Can I sample edit? No sample. Okay, wave file. Can I change? All sounds are like this. Let's turn off the filter. Well, I'm just gonna go investigate that later. I'm just gonna reload the random project thing because I would like some normal sounds now. Auto bit crush, yeah, it does sound a bit like a bit crusher, but I'm pretty sure it also just loaded different samples. Like on pad 2 we had that yeah, something that repeated like a da-da-duck. I don't know, hard to describe what the fuck is going on. Yeah, this is what we started off with. Totally different sound. I think it changed the samples and the effects, and I did discover a couple bugs in this thing, so maybe it's a bug. I'm gonna, after the stream, I'm gonna go back and watch and see if I pressed some weird button combination that I was unaware of. So yeah, that kind of got me distracted. Maybe restart the device. It's probably good. Yeah, I'm gonna restart it, and then I'm also gonna load both presets, see what happens. I hope this doesn't cause like actually I'm gonna quickly mute this track just in case it makes a loud pop. And start it again. Now loading. It should just load the last project. We'll see soon enough. Now I can unmute it. Yep, everything sounds good. Okay, now we're gonna load random something, random project G for gritty. Yep, still gritty as fuck. Also track settings where you can EQ each pad, you can EQ each track, you can also have master effects, so there's a bunch of places to look if something's not sounding as you expect. I did have a slight mid boost, and as I can see there. Oh, but the EQ is off, so that doesn't even matter. So it's not on the track. It's probably not on each individual pad. It's... Let's see, shift sound, and I'm gonna go to setting. Delay. The connection with OBS is not super stable. I'm gonna quickly lower the bitrate a bit. This used to be fine, and I'm still using a wired connection to my router, and my internet is fast enough, but yeah, I feel like a bit of an idiot. It's fine, I learned something. You can change the course tune with this knob. I just had the course tune to -31, and it changes down the tuning, which means that it just stretches the samples, and it makes it sound really gritty. Oh shit. And if you tune it high enough, then apparently then they go in reverse. That's kinda rad. Can you can also automate this knob movement. That's kind of sick. Also, because we have the randomization in these sequences, it sounds different every time. Let's go to track 2. So here now we basically just have some variations on the hi-hat. Go to motion and just turn it off. Although you gotta do that for each track individually. And then you still manually got to set the well, that was an interesting little detour. I learned a bit more about this device. There's so many features in here, and oh shit, I hope I didn't. No, I didn't kill the stream. Whew. So yeah, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, I was gonna try making. I actually wanted to have the kicks on one pattern, the snares on. I mean, kicks on one track, snares on the track, and then the hi-hats on the track, and all the other stuff on another track. And then we can see if we can get any interesting results if we make each pattern a bit longer or shorter. So I'm just gonna go to track 2, gonna do the sequence, and no, to the clips. Let's just first see which pattern we're gonna do this with. So pattern 1. Or pattern 2. Or pattern 3. That's still an unfinished pattern. Let's go for track 2. And let's gonna do a shift copy. Now first I'm gonna set a drum track on each channel. Do we have a tone track? I'm just gonna delete channel 3 and 4. Then on 1 and 2 we have the same drum kit. On track 3 we're gonna set a drum kit. On 4 we're gonna set a drum kit. Preset alphabetically TR901, TR909, and on 4 alphabetic. Oh, TR909, enter. Nice. Check if that worked. That's a lot of reverb on track 2. That's right. Actually gonna set a bit of reverb on each track. That could be nice. So now let's take this pattern, pattern 2, and we're gonna copy that. Yeah, clip phrase to 202. Okay. Copy again, clip phrase to 302. Copy to 402. So basically, pattern 2 on track 1 is now pattern 2. Yeah, it's now the same on all channels. So we now have 4 times the same thing playing, except there might be some slight variations, like one channel might have just a bit of difference in course tune. Let's quickly set that correct. Cut off. Wait, I can just quickly check those levels with shifts. Yeah, channel 4 still had a bit of cutoff and a slight variation in the decay level. So it's a good thing that I checked. So sensitive, this button. Alrighty. So now on track 1, I'm just gonna mute everything but the kicks. So I'm gonna press 1. That's good. On 2, I'm gonna mute everything but the snares. On 3, I'm only gonna have the hi-hats, and on 4, I'm gonna have all the other stuff. So mute so that's this sound, these 4. Hey. Welcome, Dana Dana. Get this decay level correct again. Okay, nice. I do love me a .8 delay. I'm gonna set delay send on this button. Does this actually... I didn't set the delay settings correct. Ah well, screw the delay. Now let's see if we can get some interesting going. Let's just start with the kick and the drum. And it's gonna, of course there's some variation in here, but I'm gonna press shift sequence, and I'm gonna make this only 14 steps long instead of 16. So the drums are gonna do something strange every time. It's gonna move over a bit every time. I have no idea if this is gonna get some bearable results, or if it's just gonna be a whole lot of messiness. Maybe it's best to leave the kick and snare pretty similar, so you have something that's kind of reliable. Let's see, what does that drum pattern look like? I think it's better to do this with the hi-hat. You can add a whole lot of variation in the hi-hat without it messing too much with your brain. Honestly, a little underwhelming because there's already a bunch of randomization in there. Actually, I think I'm gonna let it run from 9 to 16 or 15, something like that, because there's not a whole lot of hits in here. So this the first, this the last. Now shift 9, first step, just press 15 for the last step. Gonna go to track 2, go to the snare. I'm actually gonna set the mute level quite low on these two, like very near to 0, because I want the snares to be pretty reliable. And now, of course, we still have track 4. Actually, screw it. I will go into settings. I will go to delay send. Oh, gotta go into multi effects for the delay settings. I'm gonna set feedback a bunch higher, then I think I can use the delay properly just by. Not getting a whole lot of delay. Let's go back into the delay settings. Level. It is on. It is synced. It is set to a dotted eighth. It's got a bunch of feedback. I've had this before. I think I am overlooking something. It's probably in the track settings. Sometimes I don't get any delay in my drum tracks, and there's multiple places to look. Screw the delay. Let's set this to 14 steps. See how that works. I think that's pretty interesting. Let's just load the project as it was before and see if it's actually an improvement. I don't know if this was the most fruitful experiment, but it was. Oh, mute those. It was probably better before I started messing with it. There's already a whole lot of randomization in here, and you can definitely push it a bit too far. I think I did. Yeah, I liked it better as it was. Oh wait, this wasn't the same pattern either. Smart. Let's play. Yeah, this was the pattern we started with. Also better than what we ended up with a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, fun stuff. Let's see. I wonder if I can use this in a bit of a practical thing. Like what's even this piano project? I'm working on a really smooth and subtle piano-based thing, and maybe some randomized drums on the deck could be fun. If only I could remember which of my dozens of projects it was. It was something... yeah, it was probably smooth. It's not it. Let's go just back to the beginning. Oh yeah, before I do that, let's learn of this. I tried something else with a bit of your typical drum and bass style pattern / jungle pattern. I tried some randomization in there too, but I totally forgot what that sounded like. Yeah, it didn't end up sounding like drum and bass, but I started with that basic pattern. Apparently I thought it was interesting enough to save. So yeah, I basically started with and then I added some these two steps are the basic pattern, and I added a couple more steps with some mutes. And that rim shot I kept pretty basic, so you get something to hold on to, something reliable, predictable, I mean. And this is odd, why is this step darker? Like, these are steps that are filled in, these are empty steps. This one probably is in the way with something else in the same mute group. I don't know. Why is that? Sometimes I have these things in a sequencer that I'm not really sure what's going on. Now let's bring back those other. So yeah, then I added some tambourine with a whole lot of mute. You can see it by the color. Yeah, that was interesting, but not the project I was looking for. It was something... It might be Inside, I think that's the title. The one thing I can actually think of a title, I forget. Yeah, this is the one. So I got this chord progression with the electric piano. I kind of want to add some bass to this. I did. Let's see. I think I did add a bass line. I also had like just boom. There we go. Not sure why it wouldn't start playing the sequence a minute ago, or maybe I had an empty one selected. On track 4, do we have anything on track 4? Ah, yeah. That's for a lead thing that I haven't figured out yet. And on 1. Do I already have a pattern for this? I think I do. Let's copy this to an empty pattern. It's a 5. Now we can mess with it. Oh yeah, now of course we have it spread across 2 bars. This bar 1, this bar 2. I wonder if it'll work very well if we add a whole bunch of random to this. Let's start again with some randomness on the hi-hats. Actually, let's also add, is this a bit too much? Currently it is, but if we mute a whole bunch, maybe that will work nicely. Especially, yeah, if we keep these pretty low and set very high mutes on this one. So now we have these 8th notes going pretty much always. I will give them a bit of mute, like 10 max. And yeah, all the other steps, that's 85, somewhere around there. So you just get a bit of variation there. Let's not go all too crazy. And then I think we also have an open hi-hat. Ah, it's there. Yeah. I don't think I want to mute this. I like this one being there. Adds a bit of predictability. But maybe if we also add that on the first bar and mute it a whole bunch, and maybe add oh wait, that's there's something like this, and add some mute again. I'm gonna add them to bar 2 again. I like that the color changes, so you can instantly see, oh, there's about this much chance it's getting muted. If you decrease the volume of every even pad, it will sound a bit shakier. That's a good idea. Get a bit of a... I could also add a bit of swing, that might help. Yeah. I think you can set the swing per track, not per master thing. Or even per, yeah, shuffle. Even per sequence. Which... that's way too much. I think just a little bit. But yeah, I will definitely go to the... I'm gonna get rid of all these extra hits. And now I'm gonna press 1. place them again, and now they are added with a velocity of 80%. Yep, and now I'm gonna change the mute level, the mute chance. No, that's decay. Oh wait, I can also press them again and they get even lower velocity, right? Yeah, now it's 160, 160. Do that same thing on this. This is odd, it actually gets darker while it gets lower. Starting to think an MC-101 will look bad next to my circuit. Oh yeah, they could be pretty amazing complementary tools, I think. They both have a very different set of things they can do. But if you have both, then whew, you definitely got your drums covered. And a whole lot more, but I think, yeah, in typical Roland fashion, they definitely put a bit more work into the drum section. Although I'm really happy with the synth section too, and the samples. And oh yeah, gotta change the odds again. So pattern 1. There's also some stuff that's a bit odd though, like these lights don't blink to the beat. That's like, that's so annoying to me. There's also some more valid complaints, but yeah, it's not perfect, but then again, what is? Everything has its downsides. This thing has so many features and such a small thing. Of course, you're gonna have to go through some menus and stuff, and some things are a little bit different than I might have done them. But you get used to them. Oof, that's a filthy color. So, what was it, around 85? Oh, no, this one should be a very low mute chance. I think this turned out, it's a bit much. It's a bit too hyper and active. One might even say hyperactive for this smooth piano thing. And I liked it. I was totally forgetting about what I was actually working on. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. What the hi-hat's doing? It's kind of unpredictable. I might make a little bit variation in the kicks, and then I added the piano. I was like, oh, that's a bit of a contrast. The piano is so predictable, and then you got these really busy hi-hats. Let's go back to the pattern I was playing before. Yeah, just with your basic eighth note hi-hat pattern, I think I like this a lot better. It's a bit boring. There could be some variation. I'm gonna go back to this busy ass pattern, and I'm just gonna go get rid of these extra notes. I think I should just add a couple. I also definitely gotta remove those extra open hi-hats, because they're a bit much. Just gonna remove them entirely. Yeah, that's a lot better. Just the occasional extra hi-hat hit. Yeah. Now I can go to the kick. Oh yeah, I already gave this one a bit of mute, I guess. Yeah, that sounds okay. If these every now and then kick in, get it, huh? That's bad. And I guess I should add a bit to the second part too, but not on those exact same. Yeah, that's definitely a bit much, but if it's every now and then an extra hit, I think that's okay. Kind of want to mute all the hats and everything else and see what that's. Triplet hi-hat, perhaps. Ooh, interesting. How does that work again? Because I... oh yeah, triplets. I got a little distracted here. I know I can set the grid to a different resolution. Like in the circuit, you have there's micro steps, which are really useful for that. And here, it's a bit different. You can just go to a pattern, and you could say this pattern works with triplets instead of normal. I guess I can change the entire grid. Let's see. Let's copy this grid. Oh, I'm not going to be streaming all that much longer, by the way. Totally losing track of time. Let's say, yeah, I'll probably stream till 9. But yeah, copy clip phrase 5 to 6. Copy clip, yes. And now, if I change the, oh, oops, hit the camera. If I change the clip resolution, I can change the step length or the scale. If I change it to 16th triplets, then the whole thing is faster. So I would have to make one track for all the default stuff, and I would have to make a separate track just for the hi-hats, which I could do. That's fine. That could be a fun experiment. Track 4 is currently just like a lead instrument, but I don't have a melody anyways, so I'm just gonna get rid of track 4, delete track 4, yes, create a drum track. It's a bit odd having them split over 1 and 4, but project, yeah, I got the jazz kit, but with a different kick. There's not a whole lot of amazing kick sounds in this machine. That's a shame, but you can always load your own sounds. So now let's go back to this one. Let's fix. Let's just get rid of this weird triplet pattern. So now we have. I still have the heads muted, don't I? Yeah, there we go. But that's good. I'm just gonna copy this. To track 4. This one now also has. And this one I'm gonna mute the kick and the snare. Actually, I'm just gonna go. Could you? Sorry, got a little distracted there. So now I'm gonna make an empty pattern. And let's see, I'm gonna make this one 16 triplets. I never mess with this stuff, so if it's triplets, then it should be. It should be. Is it longer or is it shorter? Oh, it's only 12 steps long. That's interesting. So if I set. Oh shit, that's really fast. It's interesting. So how does this work? I feel like it runs this out. Maybe I got the resolution wrong here. Or the length. Maybe I should make this like 20 steps long. Oh shit, I got 2 bars here. That's probably. That's your problem. Let's remove all of these steps. So we have bar 1 here that's going to 12, and then we have 4 steps on bar 2. That's odd how it divided that. So let's see again what happens if yeah, now it's still shorter, so I gotta make it a bit longer. So if we have 16, should it be 24? I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. There we go. And we should probably also give this a bit of shuffle, like 5%. I don't know if it's gonna work with the rest of the pattern, but that's okay. I'm just gonna mess with this a bit. That's a bit much. Now again, I'm gonna have the odd ones be play pretty much always. What is this missing? Get rid of this one. Man, this is wrinkling my brain. I really gotta take some time to figure this stuff out. I'm just gonna add some extra steps randomly. I'm gonna make all of these odd ones pretty reliable. Now where should I place the open? So, all in all, was this an improvement? Let's try that out. So let's mute this, unmute these hi-hats. Yeah, this was pretty boring and vanilla sounding. Oh, it's okay. Or we can mute these. Oh yeah, it's definitely a bit hyper again. I always do that if I mute all the instruments and just go focus on the hi-hats. I always end up with very busy patterns and stuff, and it's a bit much. Let me just quickly get something in the drink. Be right back. And I'm back. Yeah, this is definitely a bit much. So yeah, that's definitely... Oh wait, I could... Maybe I should have made this eighth notes triplets. Oh, this is very wonky and random sounding. But now I don't. Let's make a new pattern. See, yeah, I want to set this to eighth notes triplets. And I want to make it this interface is a bit odd. Now I'm on bar 1, and now I have one step eighth note triplets, and then I make it longer and I make it longer and make it longer, then it stops. That's because now I'm on bar 2, so that's a bit what? Oh, I probably shouldn't be doing this with the open but the closed hats. Yeah, so now we have one bar that matches. That's better. Wait, do we still have... I think we still had the open hi-hats from track 1. all these steps, place them all back at velocity 60, then give them a mute percentage, maybe like wait, this isn't right. I'm so confused right now. I made a new pattern, why didn't it save? Create clip. Okay, let's try it once more. We're gonna make it 12 long, I think, and we're gonna set it to 8th note triplets. It's on. I might be an idiot. Okay, track 4, clip 6 notes. There. It's definitely something I want to experiment more with and probably take the time for when I have a bit more focus. Start once more, adding a bit of randomization here, now that I'm actually doing it correctly. A 2-bar pattern again. That's not what I had in mind. I swear I was working on track 4. I see what was going on. I pressed 1 to mute to make the steps softer. That's quite soft. Now I can also press sequence plus step, and then these get like these sub steps. Interesting stuff. Oh. Fun experiments. So much cool stuff to do with this stuff. I really like that you can make 4-way polyrhythms with this thing. I really like 4-way polyrhythms. Of course, you could just get software that's specifically made to do it, but I really like that I can make it on a small form factor little box on the couch if I want. Cool stuff. Anything else I should nah. Next time I think I might try some overly dramatic cinematic style music. I think that would be fun to mess around with in a stream. I've been trying some stuff and it was pretty fun. You got some really neat sounds in here, strings like pizzicato strings and like whole chamber groups, chamber orchestras, what do you call that? And yeah, I got a lot of live instruments, real instruments, I guess you could say, in here, which is really neat to mess around with. They don't sound as good as some, well, as plenty VSTs, but I think it's good enough for just some experimentation and with some mixing and some mastering and stuff, you could definitely actually use them. So it's pretty cool. But I think we're gonna have to end the stream right here. This was fun. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Of course, I'll keep this stream up so you can watch it after the fact if you missed it. But I guess if you missed it, then you already know. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.